The Awakening by Kate Chopin. Chapter 37. Edna looked in at the drugstore. Monsieur Ratonneau was putting up a mixture himself, very carefully, dropping a red liquid into a tiny glass. He was grateful to Edna for having come. Her presence would be a comfort to his wife. Madame Ratonneau's sister, who had always been with her at such trying times, had not been able to come up from the plantation, and Adèle had been inconsolable until Mrs. Pontellier so kindly promised to come to her. The nurse had been with them at night for the past week, as she lived a great distance away, and Dr. Mandelet had been coming and going all the afternoon. They were then looking for him any moment. Edna hastened upstairs by a private stairway that led from the rear of the store to the apartments above. The children were all sleeping in a back room. Madame Ratonneau was in the salon, where she had strayed in her suffering impatience. She sat on the sofa, clad in an ample white peignoir, holding a handkerchief tight in her hand with a nervous clutch. Her face was drawn and pinched, her sweet blue eyes haggard and unnatural. All her beautiful hair had been drawn back and plaited. It lay in a long braid on the sofa pillow, coiled like a golden serpent. The nurse, a comfortable-looking griff woman in a white apron and cap, was urging her to return to her bedroom. There is no use, she said at once to Edna. We must get rid of Mandelet. He's getting too old and careless. He said he would be here at 7:30. Now it must be 8. See what time it is, Josephine. The woman was possessed of a cheerful nature, and refused to take any situation too seriously, especially a situation with which she was so familiar. She urged Madame to have courage and patience, but Madame only set her teeth hard into her underlip, and Edna saw the sweat gather in beads on her white forehead. After a moment or two, she uttered a profound sigh, and wiped her face with the handkerchief rolled in a ball. She appeared exhausted. The nurse gave her a fresh handkerchief sprinkled with cologne water. "This is too much," she cried. "Mandelet ought to be killed. Where is Alphonse? Is it possible I'm to be abandoned like this, neglected by everyone?" "Oh, neglected indeed," claimed the nurse. "Wasn't she there? And here was Mrs. Pontellier, leaving no doubt a pleasant evening at home to devote to her. And wasn't Monsieur Ratonneau coming that very instant through the hall? And Josephine was quite sure she heard Dr. Mandelet's coupe. Yes, there it was, down at the door." Adèle consented to go back to her room. She sat on the edge of a little low couch next to her bed. Dr. Mandelet paid no attention to Madame Ratonneau's upbraidings. He was accustomed to them at such times, and was too well convinced of her loyalty to doubt it. He was glad to see Edna and wanted her to go with him into the salon and entertain him, but Madame Ratonneau would not consent that Edna should leave her for an instant. Between agonizing moments she chatted a little, and said it took her mind off her sufferings. Edna began to feel uneasy. She was seized with a vague dread. Her own like experiences seemed far away, unreal and only half remembered. She recalled faintly an ecstasy of pain, the heavy odor of chloroform, a stupor which had deadened sensation, and an awakening to find a new little life to which she had been given being, added to the great unnumbered multitude of souls that come and go. She began to wish she had not come. Her presence was not necessary. She might have invented a pretext for staying away. She might even invent a pretext now for going. But Edna did not go. With an inward agony and with a flaming outspoken revolt against the ways of nature, she witnessed the scene of torture. She was still stunned and speechless with emotion when later she leaned over her friend to kiss her and softly say goodbye. Adèle, pressing her cheek, whispered in an exhausted voice, "Think of the children, Edna. Oh, think of the children. Remember them."